Greetings, and welcome to another video. And today, I actually have a special video because this was a request from someone I know. Yeah, and someone I train with quite frequently. Uh, they're having some issue with getting their flexibility in line, and since I'm known for my flexibility, yeah, I they had me tell them my nightly flexibility routine, and because there seemed like there was going to be some confusion, I offered to record a video on the channel for them. So I'm going to be going through my daily stretching routine with you guys. It's going to be a bit of a long video, but you probably saw that when you clicked on. And I'm not expecting a lot of audience retention for this, but if you want to treat this as a follow-along stretching routine, feel free to try. Now, before now, I'll do some more talking about the routine itself. While we go through the stretches. So let's get into the first stretch for the routine. Just gonna move my drink over here so I can get it, because it's like I said, it's gonna be a while. So I like to have a drink on hand for this. I'm gonna start with a full pigeon stretch. Now, what that is back leg straight back. Like if you were getting into the front splits, shin across like this. Then what you're gonna do is straighten out your back and get as low as you possibly can. Of course, for me, the only thing stopping me from going fully down is the hat. So normally I move my shin up a little bit more, but I figured might as well do this to talk to you guys, during the process. Especially because I'm actually going, while I am, this first stretch I'm doing for 5 minutes. I got my timer right here. So, fair warning. Like I've said, long video. But this is what I go through most nights. Because even though I said this is my daily stretching routine, I don't do this every day. What I do is I'll do it for a week, then I'll take a couple days off. Then I'll finish the week with the routine, do a week, then take a couple days off. Why? Well, the first part of it is because, well, I treat my stretching like bodybuilding. How I feel you need to have adequate rest in between sessions to recover from your stretching in order to see the benefits. And as for the finishing the week with the stretching, that's my OCD kicking in. I can't go off training for a full week, but at the same time, I can't just stop doing the training partway through a week. I have to finish it out. But starting training partway through the week is okay to an extent. So that's what I do. Now, as that's the that way, why I schedule it the way I do. But now we're going to talk about why I do the time for what I do. Like I said, 5 minutes for this first stretch. First off, this is just what gives me the best results. Just holding the position for a long time lets me really get into the stretch as deep as I possibly can over the time. Then I also really don't like rest time. I don't like rest time in general, but for some for some stretches, just getting into the position hurts more than holding the position. So, you know, even things out like that. And on top of that, it's just easier to follow in the program. Just have one amount of time you hold something for, than saying than having to do it for this amount of time, take a break, do it for this amount of time, take a break, do it for this amount of time. Especially because, like I said, I treat it like bodybuilding, and the general philosophy that I followed is 10 sets over the course of the week will give you the best results for a specific area, that you've stretched. But I'm, yeah, I'm able, but that gave me the question. When it says, with the idea of 10 sets, how long dictates a set? And so I looked into it. And generally speaking, the guy who I usually who I got the information from for this, a guy on YouTube called Movement by David. You've probably heard of him, but if not, I'd recommend checking him out. Yeah, he's got some pretty good stuff. I actually follow a lot of his advice for spinal mobility since it's something I've been having trouble with. But he pointed out that that's generally studies show that 30 seconds for a set of stretching is the most efficient means of doing so. Yeah, so at least for the average person, if I remember correctly, where it was advanced athletes can get benefits from the longer setting. But thing is, I have a certain degree of natural flexibility to where, in order to improve to any extent, I have to go beyond the normal stuff for my body to get to the point of where it does the adaptations I'm trying to force. It's the same principle as the guy who has a really good level of natural strength. Yeah, so if he yeah, so he just naturally able to bench press. Bench press close to his body weight. So he has to go over the weight to get the benefits. Same principle here. I just have to go worse and put more intensity into this, whether that means a deeper stretch or holding for longer times. Giving me a second. And okay. The actual sound of it's delayed, but that was the timer saying the 5 minutes for that side are up. And now moving to the other side of the stretch. And interestingly, my right leg is the less flexible side. So get in position and starting the timer. Okay, so now where was I? Because keep in mind this video isn't scripted. Yeah, I didn't even prepare what I was plan out what I was saying. I just feel like I should talk, so you're not just watching whoever knows how long this video is gonna be of just me sitting here in a stretching for the entire length of the video in silence. I mean, usually I have some stuff playing in the background on the TV, so I don't have to listen, so I don't have to do this in silence. But a mix of copyright stuff as well as just general stuff. Yeah. Well, here's something I can do to pass the time a little bit. While we're doing this, I'll read you guys some excerpts from The 20 Guiding Principles of Karate by Gishin Funakoshi. This is more the philosophy of karate than more so than any technical stuff. Only, which I actually like that it has a separate book of this stuff because if you're looking for the philosophy, you can get the philosophy. If you're not looking for the philosophy, you can you can get the other stuff. Okay, introduction. These 20 principles were passed down by Master Gishin Funakoshi for the spiritual and mental development of his students. They emphasize his desire to ensure that one not be caught up in the technical aspects of karate, striking, kicking, blocking, at the expense of the spiritual side of the martial art. It is the focus of the spiritual aspects, Master Funakoshi insisted, that true karate, a mere martial art, that turns karate, a mere martial art, into karate-do, a way. Off. The principles provide sustenance for practitioners at all levels of accomplishment. For the beginner, they provide an overall framework, with which to approach the art. For the serious student of karate-do, they offer ongoing guidance and a chance to delve more intensely into what he or she has already learned. A thoughtful and steady pursuit of Master Funakoshi's axioms will lead us on a much deeper journey than we might initially expect. It is this aspect of the principles that makes them meaningful even to those who do not practice. Unexpectedly, technical points are often forsaken for more profound explanation of the broader way. Spotlight is shown on the mental acumen, spiritual regimens, and the larger possibilities of the training. Attitude is emphasized over stance, spirit over form. As a result, the subtle underpinnings of these 20 principles are as applicable to our lives in general as they are to the practice of karate. They lead us to reflect on how we can better regulate our lives and treat those around us. In short, they encourage us to polish not just our art, but ourselves. Oh. Okay. That's the timer for the last set of the pigeon stretch. Put the book aside for a second while I readjust and get the... and I'll change the position of the camera too for this next one. Okay, change the camera angle. Got the new timer ready. Next up, we're doing front splits on both sides. We're holding them for 3 minutes. This is one that I'm not as good in, but I'll say this for the people who, following along at home or watching for the first time that can't get into a front split, the alternative is a deep lunge like this. Or like this if you can't get that deep. But as always, just try to make sure to keep your spine back and stretch this part of your leg here. Of course, a lot of people will be limited in the front splits by hamstring mobility instead of this. Yeah, but I'll show you. So if that's the problem, you can also add in this stretch here for the hamstrings. It works better than the standard trying to touch your toes. Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. All right, now back to the book. Principles themselves are compact, terse phrases of a profound philosophical nature. However, their very conciseness leaves them open to a variety of interpretations, even in their native Japanese. Some possibly quite different from the original intent. Happily, the present work provides clarification. Funakoshi's 20 principles are accompanied by explanatory comments compiled by Genwa Nakasone, a martial arts enthusiast and contemporary of Master Funakoshi. Nakasone's text amplifies principles that were originally written as... I'm not sure what that next word is, so I'll just skip. It is a pleasure to be able to present this work in English, especially since it was read and approved by Master Funakoshi. Collected thoughts provide the reader with a clearer. Okay, and 1 second, I'm gonna adjust my stretch real quick to correct my form. Also, a benefit of doing it for doing it for a longer period of time. Correct your form as it deteriorates. Okay. For Funakoshi, karate's practice was as much about mastering self as the martial art. Karate do Kyohan, he wrote, the value of the art depends on the one applying it. If its application is for good purpose, the art is of great value. But if it is missed, then there is no more evil or harmful art than karate. Yeah. There's nothing that hurts worse than stretching. Remember that. In other words, first and foremost, karate is about building character. Through its principles, Funakoshi sought to encourage students to pursue the deeper, more meaningful aspects of the art. The principle addresses issues of character, and the spiritual, as well as the need for courage, honesty, perseverance, and most importantly, humility, all of which can find expression through genuine courtesy and respect. Funakoshi was quick to caution the boastful and those who sought fame, demonstrations of outlandish physical feats. Okay, that's that side. Oh. Oh. Okay, gonna take a second to recover before going to the other side because that hurts. Okay, on to the next side. Ow. Okay. Problem about doing this on carpet. When you try to slide into the stretch, the carpet will resist. Okay, now to talk about this. Now, why did I decide to do these for, the front splits for 3 minutes when I did the pigeon stretch for 5? Simple. This hurts a lot more than the pigeon stretch. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hold this for 5 minutes. Heck, until recently, I actually broke this one down into sets, where I do 1 minute 3 times, and then a minute and a half twice. 3 minutes is a pretty recent change for me. But, yeah. But it is an important stretch. It helps you get your hamstrings in order, which are one of the most important, things to stretch out because they're so often tight, especially in the modern day when we have such sedentary lifestyles. They naturally tighten up if you don't move as much or if you're regularly using them in certain ways. And if you're a kicker, like I am, the hamstrings are the main limiting factor for a lot of kicks. But it's not just the hamstrings that limit you. It's actually the front of the hip, on the side that's going back, that limits you in the stretch as well. Which normally I can name, but trying to think when you're in pain is actually quite difficult. Okay, so it's important to get this down, especially for a kicker. Now, if you're not a kicker, you can probably get away with it, but flexibility does come in handy for, say, a grappler, especially jiu-jitsu guys. Like when I used to do my small circle jiu-jitsu, I grappled with a couple BJJ guys. One of them tried putting me in the electric chair, and he genuinely couldn't get me to tap with it just because of me being so good at the splits that the submission that basically forces you to do the splits just doesn't work on me because I can already do it pretty easily. Not the front splits because I'm struggling, but oh, oh. Like I mentioned, nothing hurts more than stretching. Oh. Go through it and you suddenly think, yeah, rather go through a full round of shin conditioning than this. But not only are we but not only are we gonna keep doing it each day, but we're not even done with today. Gonna take a short break, then move on to the next one. But for now, I'm gonna pause the recording and okay, break time's over. Now, next stretch we're gonna do, giving the legs a break for a little bit. We're gonna stretch the back now. We're gonna use the Cobra stretch for that. Now, not the classic Cobra stretch like this. We're using the advanced one. And for those of you who don't know, the advanced one is where you do it with your knees bent like this. But it's a little hard to hold that for time, so I like to do it against the wall. So, before I start the timer, I'm gonna get back there, against the wall, and there we go. And I only really hold this one for 3 minutes. Not because it's a hard stretch, because you kind of just stop feeling it after a while. So I just don't really think longer than 3 minutes is necessary. And I am going to have to be quiet for this one, because it's a little hard to talk when you're stretching your back. Yeah, hardest part of this stretch is that your arms kind of get tired. Most annoying part of part of this stretch is that if you're is that my head started itching, but I have to use both hands to hold myself up. Next, we're gonna work some rotation of the spine here with these. Don't really hold these these for long though. Just gonna do 1 minute on both sides. This one primarily stretches the mid portion. Between your lumbar spine and the what's the upper part of the spine called? I'm a licensed personal trainer. I should really remember this. Okay. And here. Okay. Here, I'm gonna move a bit more over here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do next is a hamstring stretch, and I'm going to use my homemade weighted jars to raise my feet off the ground while I do it. Why? It adds a level of difficulty to the hamstring stretch that doesn't require the point where you grip your feet and pull back to add to the difficulty, because that actually I got short arms. That's kind of the entire reason. Just that. Okay. But if you can, grip your feet easily enough, go for it. Okay. Now, generally with this one, people say try to put your nose to your shins. It's actually not what you want to do if you're trying to stretch your hamstrings. Generally, the best thing for stretching your hamstrings is to, here, I'll actually show that part, is I can only really grab my feet properly if I'm doing this one at a time, is this. Like this. But the whole, nose to shins thing is more for stretching out the back, for that. And generally, it's recommended to grab the back of your hamstrings for that. Okay, 3 minutes of that, yeah, of that stretch. And now, next, yeah, I do a stretch for the front of the quads, which I actually, yeah, yeah, will not be adding into the video here because I can't find a good way to get it on camera that doesn't, uh, you know. So, cut to the last, last stretch, and I won't actually show you guys the last one because I hold this one for 10 minutes, and this video is already long enough. So, just let me, get the, last camera angle ready, and I'll show you guys when it comes to that. Okay, so last thing I do is just kind of hold the splits position for about 10 minutes. And starting the timer. All right. Okay. So I hold the splits for the last 10 minutes, mostly because here. Okay. Yeah, main reason, gotta maintain the ability to do it. There was a good chunk of time where I lost the ability to do the splits. Took me a couple months to get back to doing it. Now, for those of you who can't do the splits, you could just have it as a 90-degree pancake stretch. Yeah, stretch where you straighten out your back and try to put your chest to the floor. But I'm a firm believer that the best way to train to do the splits is to just do the splits. You know, maybe you could do like a weighted Cossack squat, yeah, to help with it, the 90-degree pancake stretch I mentioned. But to do the splits, just do the splits. Even if this is as close as you can get. Get into this position, use your arms to support you, hold it for as long as you can until your legs exhaust enough to let you get further. Just let yourself get as close as you can until eventually, over time, and by time I mean months, you can get it within a month. Can get it within a month usually, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it consistently. For instance, I say a few minutes a day, 5 days a week is more than sufficient. Yeah. So, yeah. So just the splits plus the two things I mentioned, like a weighted Cossack squat, yeah, and then a 90-degree pancake stretch, trying to get your chest to the ground. Genuinely the best way I think to get into the splits. Or you could, and of course, you can also just get as close into the position as you can, and have a friend if you have those. Have one of them just kind of push on your back to get you further into the stretch, or you could, uh, or you could hold a weight to get you further into the position through added weight. Now this is only 15 pounds, so it's not going to do much yet for me now. But when it came time, to actually get to the splits, did it work for me then? No, because I didn't think of it. What I did was I went against a wall that had a cabinet. Yeah, stuck the cabinet shut with an elastic band, and then just used the handle of it to pull myself into the wall, forcing my legs to spread. Or, yeah, I would also, and this is on this channel, you just gotta find it. I took the heavy bag off my stand, threw a rope around the loop for it, tied one end to my ankle, and just used it as a pulley system to get my leg as high up as possible and just hold it for time. Here. Okay, so on that note, that is more or less my entire stretching routine. I do add some other stuff in throughout the day, like I like to do the reverse prayer to stretch out the shoulders, and of course the reverse hand hold can't see it because, behind the back, but basically I'm doing this and this. That was the first one. So, that's more or less it. I mean, other than my ankle stretching, but that's more of a throughout the day thing that I don't really do for time, where I just kind of take my foot. If this is if, if this is my foot normally, I just do this, stretch like that. So, on that note, what like I said, I'm not going to show you the full 10 minutes because this video is already long enough. So, thank you. On that note, if you guys have any other parts of my training you wanted to see, just ask. I'll probably record a video for it. Thank you. So, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want to get notified of future videos, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all those things. But thank you all very much for watching. This is Random Man, signing off.